Okay, today is Wednesday, January 8th, 2014, and I am walking to City Hall to see the clerk of the board in regard to the Sunshine Task Force and the lack of help that I've received from them, the incorrect procedure that I've been subjected to so far, the no follow-up, etc., etc. I would like to educate you a little bit about the shrill for the city, which is the Sunshine Task Force, which is basically there to deflect, deny, defer, not properly process, etc., etc., so that it'll tire, vex, and annoy the victim into dropping whatever complaint he might have against the city agencies, which are not doing their job properly when you sunshine them or ask for a public record request under the Freedom of Information Act, etc., etc. What I wanted to point out to you is if you go back and you look at the YouTube video on 11/6, you will see where, I questioned them in regard to the IDRs that I had submitted to the Department of Public Health and the San Francisco Police Department. And when I did not receive timely responses or correct responses, I wrote back and asked for a hearing. You'll also notice on the tape of 11/6, under the Ministry of Sunshine, because that's exactly what I call it, the Ministry of Sunshine, there was no response to this. Now, unfortunately, the December meeting for the Sunshine Task Force, I was not able to go because my cameras had been confiscated with me following up, in regard to the Department of Public Health's IDR for requesting my medical records. And when I went to San Francisco General, I was, in my opinion, illegally arrested. Fortunately, though, I have a notice to appear 115, and I will show up and I will document that also, just to continue to show you how rigged the entire game is and how unaccountable they are. Now, let's continue. A couple of things that I wanted to mention was, you have to realize that the Ministry of Sunshine is not there for the citizen or to comply or to be helpful whatsoever. It is merely another delay tactic. Another thing you should know is I believe the San Francisco Grand Jury, and the San Francisco Bay Guardian all wrote articles about how ineffective not only was Sunshine, but the fact that, I believe when they pushed up either 14 or 16 complaints to the Ethics Commission, none of them were acted upon and there was no resolution. So when, there is no solution, when there is no fix to the propaganda that you submit, it's basically, meaningless words. So this is what I'm documenting and everything else. Now, let me go ahead and show you off the website for the Sunshine Task Force, filing a complaint with the Sunshine Task Force. Now, I did follow the procedure here because, as you'll see, when I go to the clerk, I will pull out the paperwork to show them how I have basically been continuing with Sunshine. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. So 11/6, I get there, I tell them naturally what a failure there are. In December, I can't go because my cameras were confiscated. And mind you, the January meeting for the Sunshine Task Force was, of course, January 1st, so it was canceled. So I guess just another month of delay and defer. And, you have to ask yourself, is this not the common tactic? Let's not forget that the Ministry of Sunshine was closed down for 6 whole months. And, of course, during that period, I had, IDRs that were out that I'd requested hearings for that, of course, fell by the wayside. All you have to do is go back and look, go back and check on their website. It is a wonderful farce. I remember, going to them and specifically asking what they were going to do for all the victims of their nuclear winter. Because, without sunshine, how can you clean and disinfect? Unless, of course, it's all a ruse. Like I've said all along, the Ministry of Sunshine is just a joke. Now, in this paperwork, it clearly states, under summary of complaint procedures, you may fill out a complaint form online or access a form at sfgov.org. You may send your own letter filing a formal complaint. File the complaint with the Sunshine Task Force Ordinance, or you may send it by fax or email to sotf@sfgov.org. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because I have my emails requesting just such a thing and never haven't been responded to. Not even acknowledgement of receipt of my emails. And naturally, I followed up many times. And, like I told them on 11/6, what's the purpose of having something, if it's not going to be enforced and if it's all tripe. It's amazing because basically an IDR is supposed to be answered within 24 hours. An IDR is an immediate disclosure request. And it's supposed to, to be answered in 24 hours. And when it's not, you're supposed to request a hearing because, it's all supposed to be resolved within 45 days, according to the website. Like I said, go to sfgov.org, and look under agencies and then skip down to the Sunshine Task Force and read all the propaganda. So as I was saying, a procedure that does not work is nothing more than, if anything, more vexation on the victim. So I'm just cluing you into how worthless this entire thing is. Now, mind you, like I said, on 11/27, was arrested for following up on my IDR to the Department of Public Health at San Francisco General, requesting my medical records and everything else. So, unfortunately, I don't have the cameras that were confiscated. However, I am going to request them back when I show up for the notice to appear on 1/15. So, in the meantime, like I said, I'm going to the clerk. I'm going to show the clerk, how I've done everything correctly per the website and, ask the clerk of the board, what does it all mean? My 45 days have gone by. Amazing. Had I had any proper service or anything else, I would not have been arrested at San Francisco General, following up on my medical records. But like I said, when the entire system is corrupt and unaccountable, well, the illusions go on. So there is City Hall, which is where I'm going to talk to, the clerk of the board. So I will turn this back on and we'll go from there just to show you the continuing illusions and to see exactly what I get. Now, mind you, when I go in, I'm probably going to be told that they don't want me to video record. Have you not noticed the same game pattern everywhere I go? Yes, it's awfully wonderful when, we can't document so that it can become a he said, she said thing. Well, after years of being screwed by the city legally and each other and otherwise, for example, go to my own private Guantanamo.com and you'll see the signed confession that, of course, took me many years to get after they illegally had my case thrown out of federal court with fraud and test life. And, of course, no one has answered to that. The signed confession I have for the denial of emergency services at San Francisco General that happened in 2001 was signed in 2007, and naturally, the case was thrown out of court in 2003. So it's now 2014. Ask yourself, where is the humanity? Where is the compassion? Where is the honesty? When you don't have to come clean, when you've been busted, when you can continue to spread the illusion is there any purpose at all to even try to fight these people who live in an unreal world? But, you know, it's only their world that matters and exists because, you know, like I've always said, justice is for the rich. So we'll see. I mean, I'm still awaiting my justice, being dead right now. Mind you, you know, how can I explain this to you? 4 times I've been taken in regard to my medical care. You know, the first time I was illegally arrested in 2001, and mind you, I now have a signed confession sitting next to my arrest record, never having been arrested in my entire life. Now, the second time I was taken in was in my fight, you know, at the federal court level, case number CO23485PJH, in which, you know, in my deposition, the city attorney had me falsely 5150. Now, every time you continue to follow up against the corrupt Department of Public Health, which continues to break the law because the sheriff and the San Francisco Police Department and nobody enforces medical law, well, you know, it just continues. So, the fact that I continue to follow up with the San Francisco Police Department, if you look at the videos, you'll notice that in September, I was once again illegally 5150'd to a San Francisco general from the northern station at the San Francisco Police Department. Then, when I followed up, as I've told you, you know, for the IDR and continue to seek my medical records, I was again arrested in November by the Sheriff's Department following up, and that's, you know, going to continue to be documented to show just what a farce that is. Now, mind you, this is a Sheriff's Department that couldn't even walk me across the street, but, you know, for how many times, if you look at the videos, could be the lapdog of the Department of Public Health and deny me my rights to medical care and enforcement of those rights. Yes, it's a beautiful, wonderful illusion. All the inhumanity is exposed. It's all there. And if you continue to look, you know, it's nothing new. Look at the paper. You will continue to find out just how rigged and unaccountable San Francisco General is. How the sheriff, you know, and his department is obviously, you know, co-players. How the Department of Public Health doesn't have to be accountable. How HIPAA law doesn't have to be followed. Oh, you know, it's wonderful to live in illusion land. Unfortunately, I don't. Now, as you can tell, I have got and always keep copies of the paperwork. So, here we go. I'm going to follow up with the clerk of the board. Wish me luck. Even though we know that, you know, that just doesn't work. You know, the only thing that's going to get you any form of justice is mucho dinero and mucho lawsuits and mucho lawyers, because these people, not only do they not play fair, they play dirty. You know, their words don't mean anything. They're not accountable when you bust them, and they just continue to spread the lies and illusions. Well, it's all here on YouTube, folks, for you to see and learn the games. Thank you.